Honestly, I didn't expect that kind of reaction, but because the issue swirling around. But they were I think they were fully satisfied with my explanation. And I think they're tired, they just want to move on. They want to move on, they want to look at the bigger issues, challenges, economic challenges, and preparing for GE 14, So I think that's in the mind that UMNO must now, what they call unite, close ranks, and make sure that UMNO continues to be relevant in the eyes of the people, and we must be focused towards winning the next general election. I think that's in the mood of in the thoughts of the delegates.
You set yourself a 6-month period, right, to resolve the one MDB issue. I think the 6 months is up, and the rationalisation exercise is in full progress. Do you think that the issue has it's been wrapped up, and is the closure to it at this point? After,
I would say almost. Those who are with the government, and even quite a number of the neutrals, I think they are quite more positive about that issue, in the sense that they see that we are being able to meet the deadline, resolve, implement the rationalisation program in a very positive way, and I think they see that this issue will be eventually resolved. But of course, actual process will take a few more months, because some of the agreements do take time, for the money to come in and that sort of thing. But I think people are more positive now, and people understand that essentially that this is a business issue. This is a business issue and should not be over politicized. Of course, those who are against, the detractors, will always continue to harp on it. But that's the reality, because they always wanted to make 1MDB a political issue.
After explaining this, were there any areas which, or for that matter, your concern, were there any areas which you felt that we could have done better as far as this one NDB issue is concerned? Then we wouldn't have come to this, some of the flaws in the business model.
I think so. I think we can learn from our mistakes. But in the scheme of things, judging from previous business issues, it is not as bad as if you were to go back with the Pewaja issue, or Bank Bumi issue, or even MAS and the Forex issue. I explained, the Forex losses were huge, and they were hard cash. 33 billion loss, hard cash. And there was no Public Accounts Committee inquiry, the losses were staggering. Yet 1MDB, if it's resolved according to the plan, we might end up with a slight surplus. That's the plan, So we're working hard towards it. So my message, let's move on. Give a chance to rationalisation program to work. Like, I explained to delegates, 2014 November, there was a time when we wanted to do the IPO for EDRA. But because of all the political attacks, essentially from Tun Mahathir and Tony Pua, it couldn't be launched, And when it couldn't be launched, we went into the cash flow problem, That was the beginning of the issue of, relating to 1MDB, because it became a cash flow problem. It wasn't an asset problem. People must understand that we had quality asset. Because otherwise, if we didn't have quality asset, do you think CGN, which goes all the way up the hierarchy in the Chinese government, would have offered 17 billion in total for EDRA assets? Surely not, In fact, the Prime Minister of China came, and when he met with me, it was to convey to me personally that was his decision that CGN, to purchase EDRA. If 42 billion was missing, as alleged by Tun Mahathir, and if money was, if the assets were not quality assets, do you think we could have got 17 billion for EDRA?
Why did you choose not to go to Parliament to answer the queries on 1MDB?
It's a business. It's a business thing. I mean, I decided that this is a business problem. You know, it became a political thing, and when it became, I thought it was timely that I should explain to Umno delegates. That's what I did in a closed-door session. We have been explaining, actually. Statements have been issued, about 1MDB.
The 2.6 billion, actually in US dollars, actually how much at that time? 700,000?
Well, we don't discuss specifics in terms of political funding, I don't think it's fair, honestly, because every political party, including opposition, require political funding. If you want to discuss about 2.6 in great detail, you have also to come up with your political funding. Let's put it on the table, But they're not willing to do that. So I don't think it's fair, But my responsibility to the party members, I explained to the party members, especially last night, and they accepted the explanation. And I should explain to the authorities, SPRM on that, so that they can ascertain whether any laws have been broken.
How was your meeting with the MACC, the interview, the statement that they took down from, how did it go?
I don't, you have to ask them. I gave, whatever information that I knew, truthfully, and they also went and met with the donors, and they took statements. So the most important thing is that, they have to ascertain that it's not public funds, it's not, money coming from 1MDB. And as you know, there are no specific laws relating to public political funding in this country. I was the one on record to have suggested it 4 years ago, but it was shot down by the opposition. They didn't want it because it is to their disadvantage. Because a lot of some businessmen, I won't say a lot, some businessmen who are seemingly friendly to BN also buy insurance policy and also contribute to opposition. And especially if they have development in Penang. That's what they do. And in Selangor. So they do that as a matter of course. They look at it as a business strategy. They don't look at it in terms of political thing. Yeah.
When they give this donation, what was the main reason which they felt that they should give it to UMNO?
They do it as a matter of course. They know we are not the only ones. Okay. If they like you, and the relationship is personal. It's not on institutional basis. It's not on party basis. It's personal. That is why they insisted it should be personal to me. That's why it went to my personal account. It's not personal account in the sense that I use it for everyday expenses. No, it's personal because I have to operate it on the basis of that was the wish of the donor. I didn't want to offend them.
Datuk, would the issue of the cost of living will be discussed at the UMNO General Assembly?
The cost of living, yes. We know the cost of living issue relating to cost of living, relating to what you call jobs, generally speaking, education, health. These are the issues that will be discussed.
Yeah. The price of crude oil dropped down to $37 today.
I know.
And that when we did the assumption of the budget, it was 45, right? 48. Now it has dropped down to 37. Yes. So given the scenario, what's your view on this, the pressure that will be exerted on our ringgit?
You see, we are a commodity-based economy. And if you look around the world, all countries that are commodity-based, the economy is commodity-based, are suffering. Their currencies have taken quite a big hit. Some worse than Malaysia. Some maybe slightly better. But don't forget, we are also dependent to some extent on palm oil and rubber as well. So it's commodity. This is rather a very unique kind of economic condition. It's not a technical, it's not a real recession as such, but there is a general slowdown in world growth, but characterized by lower commodity prices. This is unique. So when we are faced with lower commodity prices, government income is affected. as I said, our budget assessment was about 30 billion in terms of foregone revenue next year, 30 billion. And of course, if the price of crude is lower than 48, it will be even more than 30 billion, you see. And also when you mentioned about the cost of living, smallholders are affected because their income. You see, people talk in terms of when the cost of living, they feel a pinch. It's not just in prices, because prices generally, inflation rate is between 2.5 to 3%. So you're not talking about roaring inflation, but their income has been affected, especially if it's based on commodities like rubber. Smallholders, palm oil, smallholders, they are affected.
We enjoyed a growth of 5% this year. Okay, next year, given the fact that the changing scenario and things are happening so fast, because in 1 year, from 100 down to 37, moving forward to 2016, the price of oil will continue to be volatile. What will be the possibility that the government will be facing if growth is affected but inflation goes up?
But essentially, the external economy are factors way beyond our control. Nobody can control the external factors. So we have to accept and just deal with it within our means. Like, for example, what we can do, say for example, tourism, something that we can, the visa, decision relating to Chinese tourists from China, that hopefully will help the inflow of tourists from China. Those kind of things we can do, buy local products of similar quality and so forth. These are the things we can do, to stimulate domestic demand and the domestic economy as a whole. But you have to accept the fact that there are factors beyond your control, and these are the things that you cannot blame the government, because these are external factors. Yeah.
At what point do we have to revise the budget?
Not yet. I think we have to see how things play out first. Because when you talk about 48, it's average price throughout the year, okay? So we will monitor it very closely. If we feel there is a need, then we will revise the budget. But it does mean cutting back. And it means cutting back on some OE and some development expenditure. So it means tightening the belt. It's not something which is a popular move, but if it's unavoidable, then we have no choice. We just have to do it. We can't allow, for example, the government deficit to go up,